Yo, what's going on YouTube? Can you hear me? Let me check my audio. Yep, you can. Sound check. We're good. Again, I really wish I could get my Christmas tree lit for you guys. Fuck, that'd make the video so much more fire. Um, but on the Twitch right now, we're actually doing, I believe it's still going. Yep, France and Czech Republic are playing a group play game. It's like 38 minutes in. If you guys want to go watch that, I'm just doing a video during it. I'm just kind of multitasking so I can get some shit out for the channel because I still have 2 more videos to make. If you're on the Twitch, you're just literally just watching a soccer game. I'm not saying anything because I have videos to make. But let's get to the plot, the critical reception of this movie. You have Mad Max Fury Road, a movie that came out 7 years ago, and I just now came around to watching it. I'm not sure what I'm going to watch tomorrow. True Lies, the movie with the Arnold Schwarzenegger, is definitely a candidate. I need to find an extension cord so I can plug my tree in. We got to figure that shit out, man. But yeah, let's get into it. So, with the world a desert wasteland following societal collapse and warfare over resources, a survivor named Max Rockatansky, who is Mad Max, who is haunted by memories of all the people he has failed to protect, is captured and taken to Warlord Immortan Joe's citadel, where he is imprisoned and used as a blood bag for Nux, a sick war boy. It's a very confusing movie. There's a plot, it exists, but it's just so damn confusing. I've never watched a movie so abstract in my life, and maybe that's why people like it so much. It's just such a mysterious film. I'm familiar with like the Rage video game, which it pretty much inspired Mad Max, I think. In the first movie, Mad Max, I didn't really watch that much of it. I think I watched a little bit of it and I like tuned out of it. Like when I was like a kid, we'd watch it sometimes. But I don't know. This isn't a franchise that I'm a huge fan of. This movie visually is really cool. I like the rustic, like desert aesthetic. The aesthetics, the visuals are great. If you want a visually appealing movie, watch this. I mean, good action sequences, all that type of stuff. But in terms of like an actual story, I don't know if I can really get behind this as a great movie for a story. But meanwhile, Imperator Furiosa, one of Joe's lieutenants, is sent into the armored war rig to trade produce for patrol and ammunition with 2 of Joe's allies. So they're trying to get some patrol for like gas for like their rigs and stuff. That's what they call their vehicles, rigs. When Joe realizes his 5 wives are fleeing in the rig, he leads his army in pursuit of Furiosa, calling on the aid of Gastown and the Bullet Farms. All these people, his wives got like stolen in this car, and his job is to like get them back or something. It's kind of weird. It kind of sounds like this like mythical type of like ancient like emperor type of story, like this like a pharaoh almost. Yeah. Let's see. Nux joins the pursuit with Max strapped to his car, and a battle ensues. This is where like the beginning battle happens. Furiosa drives into a sandstorm and loses all of her pursuers except Nux, who attempts to sacrifice himself to blow up the rig to kill everybody for stealing his wives, pretty much Joe's wives. Yeah. Max frees himself and restrains Nux, and Furiosa destroys their car. It's just like this happened, then that happened. I don't know. It's not really that interesting of a movie. It just looks really cool, and Tom Hardy's in it, so that's fire. After the storm, Max finds Furiosa repairing the rig, accompanied by Joe's wives, Toast, Capable, the Dag, Cheeto, and Angarad. I think that's how you say the name. The last of whom is heavily pregnant with Joe's child. So he wants his child to be born. He wants to like protect his child, and they kidnapped his wife. So obviously it's his mission to try to get her back. Max tries to steal the rig, but he does not know the code to bypass the kill switches, so he begrudgingly joins up with Furiosa and the wives. This is when he decides to ally with them, and they decide to just continue to run away because he's like an oppressive person. I suppose I guess that's part of the reason why. Let's see. Nux boards the rig as it leaves and attempts to kill Furiosa. So Furiosa is the girl. I don't remember what the actress's name is. She's pretty famous. The girl with like the black paint on her face, right? Um, he is overcome and thrown out, and Joe's army picks him up when they pass by. Furiosa drives through a canyon controlled by a biker gang, having arranged to trade fuel for her safe passage, but the gang turns on her when they spot an army approaching, forcing her to flee. They're like, oh, you brought the war to us, we're just gonna fucking kill you, right? Dang, you got a red card. Um, the bikers detonate the canyon walls to block Joe and then pursue the rig, only stopping when the fuel pod explodes. So, and them getting pissed that they're like passing through their land, they're kind of like ruining Joe's plans at like getting his wife back and stuff. So it's interesting. Joe drives over the blockade in a monster truck and catches up with the rig, allowing Nux to board and attack Furiosa again, but he trips before reaching the cab. So yeah, Nux is just kind of like his henchman. He's like sending them out to kind of get them out of here. It's kind of like a deja vu moment because I feel like I've seen this movie before. It reminds me of something else, and I can't think of what it is. Oh my god, what movie was that? Oh, it was Logan. It like that rustic, like it reminds me of Logan, the Wolverine movie, right? Does it not? I mean, is it just me? But while helping Max, Angarad falls off the rig and is fatally run over by Joe, who temporarily halts his pursuit. He literally runs over his own wife on accident as they're like on a chase. So yeah, kind of unfortunate. Capable finds Nux hiding in the rig and consoles him as he laments his failure. It's this thing called the Valhalla. You get taken to like this Valhalla thing. It's like the biggest honor you can get, and Joe, who is like the emperor, like the ruler, he decided. I don't remember what the terminology is. They have some weird like little slang going on with their group or whatever the fuck it's called. After dark, Furiosa and Max slow Joe's forces with mines set in swampland, but Joe's ally, the Bullet Farmer, continues to pursue. I think it's the guy with like the head thing. I don't know. It was so confusing. The rig gets stuck, and Nux emerges from hiding to help free it, joining the crew. So he decides to try to become a hero and go against Joe. It seems like because one of Joe's wives is like, "Oh, you're gonna be all right," you know. Furioso blinds the approaching Bullet Farmer, and Max confronts him and returns with guns and ammunition. In the morning, Furiosa explains to Max that the green place to which they are escaping is an idyllic land she remembers from her childhood. Yeah. She recognizes a familiar landmark and shouts out her history and clan affiliation to a woman on top that she might know, like from her childhood or something. We're not really sure. Yeah. The woman summons her all-female clan, the Vuvolini, who recognize Furiosa as one of their own who was kidnapped as a child. She was taken away by Joe when she was a kid, and now she wasn't able to continue being with the clan, right? I was just watching the soccer game. I gotta stop getting so distracted. Let's see. Furiosa is devastated to learn that the swampland from the previous night was the green place, which is now uninhabitable, and there are only 7 Vuvolini left, which obviously when she was a kid, there's probably way more than that. You know how it is. Right. The group, less Max, begins to ride across an immense salt flat, hoping to find a new home. And obviously they want to get rid of Joe and his like tyrannic ways, and they want to like form their own group. After seeing a vision of a child he failed to save, Max catches up and convinces the others to return the way they came and take the undefended citadel, which is ample water and crops. He's like, look, we just need to conquer. We just need to conquer this place, you know? Yeah. They meet Joe's forces and engage in battle. This is like the final battle. This is like the final act of the movie. 5 Vuvolini and many members of Joe's forces are killed, and Toast is captured. So one of his wives is like retrieved back to him. As they approach the canyon, Joe gets in front of the rig to slow it down, and they like run into each other. While Max fights Joe's large adult son, Rictus Erectus, Furiosa, though seriously wounded, goes to save Toast and kills Joe, the Emperor. The surviving brides and Vuvellini cross over to Joe's vehicle, and Nux sacrifices himself by wrecking the rig to block the canyon. What a guy. Nux switches sides, and he learns that Joe's cause wasn't worth fighting for. He was just a very tyrannic person. Max transfuses his blood to Furiosa, saving her life. Back at the Citadel, the people rejoice upon learning of Joe's death and tear his corpse to pieces. Yeah, they didn't like this guy, of course. I mean, they fucking shouldn't like this guy. He was an asshole, right? Tore his corpse to pieces. As Max's companions are lifted in triumph to Joe's cliffside fortress, Max exchanges a glance with Furiosa and disappears into the crowd. Ooh, mystery. Obviously Theron and Tom Hardy were the main characters. Their performances were great in this one. Let's get into the critical reception here. One of the greatest action films ever made by a lot of people. I mean, this story is cool, I guess. It's not insane. It's not distinct, but I guess once I went back and read it, I was like, oh, that's why that happened. Sometimes Wikipedia can help you kind of explain things. Rotten Tomatoes, we haven't talked about them in a while, but they gave this a 97% approval. 437 critics gave it an 8.6 out of 10. With exhilarating action and a surprising amount of narrative heft, Mad Max Fury Road brings George Miller's post-apocalyptic franchise roaring vigorously back to life. A 9 out of 10 on Metacritic with 51 critics. Universal acclaim. People love this movie there. A B+ on CinemaScore, which is interesting. It's relatively low compared to the other critic sites. A full 5 stars by Robbie Collin of the Daily Telegraph. Its acting, screenplay, choreography, stunts, humor, direction, all were great. It's a Krakatoan eruption of craziness. 4 out of 5 on The Guardian. It is extravagantly deranged, ear-splittingly cacophonous, and entirely over the top. A bizarre convoy chase action thriller in the post-apocalyptic desert. The film is radically visionary. 9.2 out of 10 on IGN. The over-the-top stunts and eccentric characters and designs are all hugely important to Fury Road. Let me get back to this game. As are the troubled figures like Max himself and Furiosa, but it's the overriding sense of the film's uniqueness. It's striving to be something more than just another action movie that is most impressive. See, yeah, that's what I was kind of praising it for in the beginning of this review. It's very unique. You don't see movies like this made that often. It's got a very weird atmosphere that you don't really see in action movies. It's kind of crazy. The set design and all that was absolutely fantastic. So, yeah. 4 out of 4 by the Chicago Sun-Times. Theron and Hardy are one of the best action duos ever and one of the best action movies. The film's a new action classic. The editing, the costumes, the soundtrack, all those were great as well. The cinematography and Theron's performance were amazing. The film was kind of a long, dull chase. You do kind of watch it and you think, oh, this is kind of dull. I don't know. It's really fun for the eyes, but if you're looking for a story, I wouldn't watch this movie, in my opinion. Yeah, a lot of high-level people gave this film praise. The dominant role taken by Furiosa, the range of atypical female roles, the wives, the gun-toting Vuvellini, It's positive, non-stigmatizing portrayals of physical and psychological disabilities. We're all some positive political things, but that's all I gotta say, guys. I gotta get out of here. I'm going to watch this soccer game